Hey guys, it's Bella and welcome back to Researcher Stripped. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about different customer types. Yay, there are very many. So let's get started. So we're going to be talking about the different groups of people first, and then we'll go to the individual. So I'd first like to start by addressing the bachelor parties. These are probably my least favorite groups due to the fact that more often than not, they're just there to buy their buddy a dance or a VIP, get it over with so he can go off to his new marriage and be happy. So they really are trying to give him a good time, whereas they're not, interested in spending money themselves. So in my experience, I do not make a lot off the bachelor parties, but what is cool and fun about bachelor parties is they'll usually bring the bachelor on stage, have the girls do a dance, and then we all split the money, and a lot of the friend group will actually throw the money for us or provide the money for the whole experience, and it's actually pretty fun. So now we're going to be talking about couples. I don't see a lot of couples come to the club, but if they do, it's because they're trying to spice up their relationships by, girl-on-girl contact for their hubby, or sometimes the girl is just needing a new experience because hubby's getting boring. And I love couples. They are probably the most respectful because they're not really interested in, doing more or asking for more or expecting too much. They're just trying to provide a new zest to their relationship so they can go home and bang it out and have a great rest of their night. And in my experiences, my cat was scratching this, sorry. And in my experiences, they're the most respectful, sweet groups of people. And plus, most of the time, all you do is dance on the girl, and the guy just sits there happy as can be, happy as a clam. And you get to just pretty much grab her titties and, fake like you're kissing on her neck. It's really easy and fun. And if you're into girls, it makes it that much easier. The last group I'm going to address is work colleagues. Sometimes groups of men will get, and even women too, but not very often, groups of men will go together as work colleagues and go to the club. And this is my favorite group because if you manage to find a professional group of men, they have money, they want to spend it, and 9 times out of 10, their egos are so inflamed because of all the money going around that they're competing to see like who's going to spend the most, who's going to have the most fun. It becomes kind of a competition, and if you're one of the lucky girls to sit down there first, you might be able to make some really good money. Also, something I've noticed about these types of groups is the fact that they all like the same type of girl. So if you're very lucky, I've had this happen a couple times, they will just like pass you along. Like you'll sit down with one guy and he'll be like, oh my gosh, that was the best dance ever. And then he'll give you to his friend. And then before you know it, the whole group is like, oh my gosh, I want a lap dance with her, just her. And then because you already know what they like, you know their type, you go back and get your girlfriend or whomever fits the type. You help them out. Spread the money, spread the wealth, spread the love. And they are the most professional. They have careers they do not want to jeopardize. They don't want to catch an assault charge, a sexual assault charge. They don't want any harassment, none of that. They're just looking for a good time. And who can blame them? Strippers are amazing. Now we're going to go to the individual, and these are kind of stereotypes, but if the shoe fits. We already talked about stripper stereotypes, so now we're going to talk about some customer stereotypes. There are groups of colleague men coming in, but I'm talking about the individual worker, the hard worker, the construction worker, the pipeliner, the semi-truck driver. These guys are so sweet. I have not met one of them that honestly doesn't just have the kindest heart and is gentle. They never are aggressive, and they have great money. And because their job requires so much of their time, they don't have time for a relationship. So if you're one of the lucky girls that knows how to attract regular, which we'll talk to you guys about in the next video, how to attain regulars, If they're one of your regulars, they will be so kind, so gentlemanly. They have great money to spend, and they're not looking for a relationship because they're on the road all the time. They like quick flings, and they do like consistency. I worked at a club where I had the same truck driver come and see me once a week when he was on his route. Got VIPs. He was so, so sweet. Can't release his name, obviously, but if you're watching this, thanks. And another thing I want to say about the workers is that, just like I said about the group of colleagues, they have careers. They don't really want to jeopardize that for a dance. No logical man would, but not all these men are logical. Moving on to the next one, dope boys. Dope boys, they're like one of my favorite and least favorite, because what they do is they like to come in and they spend stage money, which is my favorite way to make money. You're not in a lap dance, you're not having to talk, no interaction, no physicality, no contact. You're just going on stage and they're throwing and they're throwing and throwing, and you just feel like a goddess rolling around in this money, and they're just trying to get clout and attention, show everybody, you know, I've got the biggest dick here, I've got the best drugs here, I got the best bitch here. So it's really just a big ego competition with themselves. And often they are the kind of guys that want to get multiple women. They want to be surrounded with beautiful, elegant, sexy women. It just flaunts and their ego so much that they just love it. And the girls love it too, because it's easy money. They're not too interested in the VIPs. They just want all of the attention. And it's a really great trade-off, because when you're giving him all that attention, it requires less contact, which is safer. So gotta love the dope boys. But I think one of the problems I do have with dope boys is the fact that if you aren't one of the girls that's his type, or that's, you know, getting thrown money on stage, you're not gonna get him in a VIP. You're gonna have to work your way in through his heart, and good luck, because money's all he's worried about. So I typically don't talk to a lot of dope boys, but I know women who have perfected the art. And I need to get her on here, because it is quite confusing. I don't know how these girls do it. They'll walk away with like $3,000 from a dope boy, and I'm like, I got $5. Anywho, the next group of guys I like to refer to as the middle-aged men. These men can range from early 30s to late 40s, and this is when you start to get to a lot more of the lonelier side of the strip club, I guess you could say, because all of the clients I spoke about previously were very much interested in having fun, the sexual intensity, the ego lifting, the money throwing. That's not how the middle-aged men are. These guys are classy. They're looking for companionship. They're looking for conversation. They're looking to have a void-filled loneliness. You know, that's quite a bitch. They like to come to the strip club because who wouldn't want to be surrounded by beautiful women who are interesting and can engage in these fascinating conversations and relate to you while simultaneously making you feel good about yourself. These guys are not the kind to get VIPs, but not for the same reason the dope boy is. They want to have intimate, personal connection. It's less sexual and more emotional. I prefer this. This is one of my favorite groups of men. Also, the last group that I'll be talking about here in a moment. These men are just incredibly respectful. They're dressed very casual, like they're dating. And often they do look for girlfriends at the club, but this can be really dangerous because we're not there for relationships. We're there to pay our bills. And it can be really heartbreaking for them because they're amazing men, but they don't know quite where to find these kinds of interactions other than a club. But if you are lucky enough to find the middle-aged man, give him some conversation, attention, have a drink with him, you will be very, very happily surprised when you receive a pretty decent pay and a great time. Now, lastly, this is my favorite group for many reasons. First of all, the retired group. Angels. First of all, their dicks don't even get hard. They're definitely not going to get a dance with you. They really want to laugh. They want to look at a beautiful woman. It's all about reflecting on their youth and their pasts. So if you can evoke those youthful feelings from them, that's what they're looking for. They want you to remind them of their younger self and the type of women they would be chasing. And it's all a big fantasy and it's really fun. And they come from a time where treating women with respect is just common courtesy. It's not even a question. It's just common decency. So when you're with these men, they put you on a pedestal. You know, they're opening the doors for you. They're tipping. They're getting pretty much any sort of attention they can with you. But even if they get a dance, it's not very aggressive. It's more often than not conversation in a private back room, holding hands, just getting to unwind your mind. And I have had endless success with these types of men. They are just so classy and respectful. Thank you to the retirement-aged men out there. If you're watching this, you have made the job so fun and easy because of your generosity and your kindness. One last thing to mention about them. They've had a lot longer of time to make money. So if you're looking for money, go to the people who've acquired the most, who've had the most time. So you get the picture. And lastly, my favorite group that I forgot to mention is the Miracle Men, the M squareds, the Jesus Christ that walk the grounds today. These men are so unique. They're different from all the other types of men because they not only don't fit into any specific category each time, they're all different. And these men, they aren't looking for the dance. They're not looking for the relationship. They're not looking for the sexuality. They're not looking for the fantasy. They literally just want to help you. And I know that seems absolutely absurd, especially if you've been in the industry and you're listening to this right now. You know that this job is not easy. It's not always fun. It can be really destructive. But these men make it so tolerable. And they come once in a blue moon. And it's like winning the lottery. So I'm going to tell you guys about a personal experience I had with my own Miracle Man. When you meet them, you'll know almost immediately that they are different. They really just want to be a backbone for you, a support system for you, help you in any way that they can, because these people have really struggled and they don't want you to keep struggling. So here's my story. I go to the club. It's dead, literally dead. And I see this gentleman sitting over at a table by himself, drinking a water. And so I sit down and we're talking and I'm introducing myself, getting to know a little bit about him. And before I know it, we have so much in common. We're going on rants, we're raving, we're having a hoot and hollering time. And before I know it, I'm like, okay, I need to, be making some money. I should probably ask for a VIP, ask for a drink, ask for something to insinuate that I'm interested in getting some sort of private occasion with him. And before I can even ask, he said, do you want to do a VIP? I said, I would love to. I had such a fun time talking to you. We go, and he walks straight up to the VIP, and he says, 2 hours. And I'm like, that's a lot. Do you know how much it's going to be? It's like a couple $1,000s. He says, oh, I know. We go on the back, and I didn't even dance for him. He literally said, I just want you to lay here. I just want to give you a massage. I just want you to be treated like a goddess, like a woman that you are. I'm sure you don't get this often here. I'm sure men treat you horribly. And I cried. I legitimately cried. By the time it ended, I had made about like $1,500. And then he gave me a $300 tip. And I gave him my number so we could keep seeing each other. He could come to the club and visit. And he came a couple more times. And it's such a synchronicity that I happened to meet him because that same day, my car broke down in the parking lot. And I had to get another girl to take me home that night. And he gave me enough money to pay my rent and get a new car. It was a miracle. Ergo, the expression Miracle Men. You have to be kind to these men. I mean, they're only going to help you out if they feel that you're kind anyway, and why should they help you if you're not? But I hope you enjoyed this segment. I really enjoyed recording it, even though my recording system had a lot of issues and errors. I hope that maybe this helps you understand the different types of men and how to approach them and maybe what to expect. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, please message us, email us, comment, like, share. We love all the support that we're getting, and thank you so much. Bye.